David Brown, and look at Adam Bernard come through from the third row of the grid. He leapfrogs the second row. He gets past Bruce Mitchell and Andrew Graham, and round the outside. Oh, there's a contact here. Oh, a big mistake for Kinmond. Kinmond's wide. Has he managed to keep on the track? Adam Bernard takes second place. Kinmond rejoins after going down the John Hopkins Road. That's a little escape road down there. Just snatched a break on the way towards Duffy's Dip in the big SD1, and that put him a little bit straight on and wide. So all the way from where did Adam Bernard started 6th, he's now 2nd as they go up the back straight towards Clark Corner. David Brown comes through Clark Corner in the lead, and remember, Brownie just waltzed off into the distance in race number 1 and didn't look back, didn't slow down, didn't want to play with anybody. Ultimately made it a little bit dull and boring to win by 8.2 seconds. But it was an extremely strong outfield in race number 1, and David will want to do the exact same. There is a dry line through the hairpin. We mentioned that in the C1 race. It's just a dry line. If you want to pass over, you've got to go into the wet part, as Shawnee Patterson does. Arrives in the view with everything almost out of control, but there he goes. From last, Shawnee Patterson started this race in 19th. He's now made up at least 8 places, I think, there. Really come across the line, and 11th place for Shawnee Patterson. Good guess from the commentary box. I'll take that one. Pat in the back, no praise like self-praise. In this commentary box anyway, as they go through the chicane. David Brown away, and John Kinmond trying to wrestle Adam Bernard's post out of the way. Then Andrew Graham goes through with Bruce Mitchell. Barry Horn this time, the first of the escorts, whereas Alistair Goats behind Barry Horn. That's all that matters in Barry's life right now as they come up towards Clark Corner. Bazza drifts it through Clark's beautifully. He's not lost any of that skill, has he? As he goes round towards the hairpin in the gold and red escort colours. I'm pretty sure that's the Alan Mann kind of colours. Really, really tidy car that, and the wind is picking up more and more. It feels like the roof's about to leave the commentary box over the crest of the hill. And John Kinmond pulls out, he goes past Adam Bernard. Adam Bernard's going to be brave on the brakes. Kinmond's on the outside, side by side over the crest of Duffus. Pick up the binoculars, what's happening as they go down through the hill, side by side through Leslie's, in towards McIntyre's, and the big Rover chops across the nose off the Porsche and takes the position back. And that was an overtake which happened 3 corners after the initial pass was started. The pass started as they went over the crest of the hill. Scott's Goodfellow is in the gravel at Butcher's, and he's out of the car actually, chatting with a spectator in the spectator zone. So that car not too far off the track. What are race control going to do about that? Safety car boards out and lights. David Brown is now in control, and he goes just before the turning point at the hairpin. John Kinmond tries to go with him, but the little TVR just looks a little bit more nimble and manoeuvrable through the corner. And away he goes, everybody else still weaving about on the way towards the hairpin, but the leaders have gone. The Rover, so quick on a straight line though, catches up with towards David Brown at the crest of the hill. But David Brown has it as they go through the twisty part of Knockhill now, down through Duffus, through Leslie's, and back. David Brown has it as they go through the twisty part of Knockhill now, down through Duffus, through Leslie's, and Barry Horn under huge pressure there from Jimmy Crow, if I'm not mistaken. Yes it was, but Barry Horn, no way was Jimmy Crow getting past at the apex of Duffus there. Everybody else making their way down through the twisty part of Knockhill as the leader now comes up towards Clark Corner. David Brown, he's under pressure, he's not having all his own way, he's having to drive this little TVR Griffith for all it's worth as they go round towards the hairpin now. The Rover is so much faster though as they go into the hairpin, but Kinmond hasn't got anywhere to go. Then tries to go round outside the brakes of the hairpin. Brown's on the inside, Kinmond's going to hang it out round the outside, and that will be all that David Brown needs. He'll show him the edge of the track. Up the main straight he comes here, over the crest hill. The Rover just powers past on the main straight and blasts past David Brown. 3.9 litres of Rover V8 SD1 goes past the little TVR. Now what has David Brown got in the tank? Because we saw him destroy the field in the dry, but now the pendulum has swung round towards favouring the big Rover SD1. These dry conditions where it's out and out pace, and here comes Adam Bernard up towards the back of David Brown as well. So it's all going wrong for David Brown on the fast parts, but when he gets the twisty parts, he's the man, very much so. As they come through Clark Corner, head towards the hairpin for the next two of asking. The big low rumble of the SD1 Rover. The speed of David Brown is roundabout comparable with Adam Bernard as they go in towards the hairpin. Through they come, up the main straight, Shawnee Patterson going past Barry Horn on the brakes of the hairpin, or not going past Barry Horn on the brakes of the hairpin. He's alongside Barry Horn, no! And Barry gives him just enough room. Doesn't want a TR8 shaped dent in the side of that Mark 1 Escort. Max would be less than happy with that. Now that 57.9 fastest lap of the race for John Kinmond. And let's have a look where our championship guys. Bruce Mitchell is in 5th place, Bapty is in 8th place, and both still leading their class. So it looks like they're about to come and tie for the championships. We'll find out more about that at the end. The race distance up to 15 laps because they had 3 big safety cars. Those 3 safety car laps seemed to take forever as well, didn't they? So we go in towards the hairpin. Once again, John Kinmond now with a bit of lap traffic ahead of him. Who's that? That's Bruce McWhirter. Remember, the last time I had Bruce McWhirter here, he was upside down in the middle of the chicane, in the middle of the race. And he has had that thing repaired very well. David Brown coming under more pressure then. Behind David Brown and Adam Bernard, we've got Andrew Graham. Then we've got Bruce Mitchell, who's coming under pressure from Shawnee Patterson. Barry Horn all on his own, just out there having fun, pulling some skids and wheelies, you could say. Alistair Bapty crosses the line as well, and into the pit lane goes Alistair Coates. So that white Mark 1 Escort in trouble as he heads for the pit lane. That will not be what he is wanting, definitely not needing that. As we go in towards the hairpin again, you can hear the big, I don't know if you can actually pick them up in my microphone as they go to the hairpin, but the big V8 of John Kinmond, the smaller V8 of David Brown, and then the flat 6 of Adam Bernard. And David Brown's car is looking slower and slower every lap up the main straight. In fact, it looks kind of like there's something, I don't want to say it, going amiss with that TVR. It just has no power from round about the start of the pit entrance up over the hill and under the bridge. And he's clinging on by his fingernails just now from Adam Bernard, who's very much on a mission. Get Alistair Bapty across the line now. Bapty's fastest lap of the race, a 103.8, or last time out a 103.8. He's done a 102.1 as the commentary box shakes beyond belief, by the way. I'm wondering if I should maybe go and commentate from outside. It's a bit scary now. Over the crest of the hill they come for the mid-pack. Craig Houston with Neil and Andrew McGregor in tow. David Robb as well, and Duncan O'Neill about to get put down a lap by the big, fast V8 of John Kinmond. And John Kinmond sails past there. The speed of that Rover compared to some of these lower class cars, I suppose it's all relevant. The racers will all see each other coming, give each other room, but that just looks terrifying to be one of those slower cars as they go past there. Coming out of Clark's is Jimmy Crow. Jimmy Crow 9th place just now in his V8 MGB GT. Good little car that. If he can get up to pace, he will be challenging these guys at the front. I don't know why Alistair Bapty got rid of his MGB GT V8, because the battles he used to have with Raymond Boyd were mega, to put in a word. Really, really good battles. As we come into the hairpin, Kinmond comes through the hairpin behind the 2 MX-5s. And the MX-5s, they're biased as future classics. So maybe there was nowhere else for them to go, so future classics, we'll put them in there. I suppose anything in the paddock could kind of fall into that bracket. As they cross the line now, they've already gone a lap down, and as has Craig Houston in his Lotus XL, if I'm not mistaken. Well, what Craig normally drives, I'll give you that, yeah, the Lotus XL. 2.1 Lotus XL. We don't see many of them on the roads. Dr. Robert Johnson told me some really interesting facts about them as well. I've forgotten them. But I think one of the facts was you don't see very many of them on the road. Or the racetrack, having said that. As your leader comes through Clark Corner with his headlights ablaze, David Brown still just holding on to this from Adam Bernard. He's kind of got himself into traffic now, Brown, and that's helping him out. He goes past David Robb, he goes past the two McGregors, and he's got Craig Houston on the brakes in the hairpin as well, as Adam Bernard has to kind of feint back just a little bit because David Robb is having a look at one of the MX-5s. I wonder what has actually gone wrong with that car today. But David Brown, it just doesn't have the pace on the straight. It's meant to be a 4.6 litre engine, that car as well, but the way John Kinmond went past it, well, you have to say there's something wrong. 57.8 last lap round for John Kinmond, and the new fastest lap of the race, with 2 laps to go. Now Bernard has got go past that lap traffic, which he needed to do, and he can now see David Brown up the road, but he's going to have to work very hard these last 2 laps to try and catch up with David Brown. Because Brown's still circulating in 59-second bracket last time round. 58 is his best lap of the race. His best lap is only a tenth of a second slower than Adam Bernard's best lap. But Adam last time was about a second a lap slower, just purely because of the traffic as they go into the hairpin. Crossing the line goes John Kinmond. Now the last lap board flashes out from the podium. Brown leaves the hairpin. Bernard can see him. What has he got? Wipers on these cars now as well, so there must be some sort of rain falling down again. Well, it's not going to be falling up. There must be some sort of rain falling, and that's enough to give you, you know, it might be a little bit of rain on the windscreen, but you never know how much rain is going to be in the back of the circuit, especially if it's getting blown in from some distance. Adam Bernard still with a lot to do here. Can he catch Brown on these last 3 straights? The straight from chicane to Clark's, straight from Clark's to hairpin, and Clark's or hairpin then up towards the finish line. But your leader and soon to be race winner goes in towards the hairpin, and he's made this look pretty, I don't want to say easy, because he's still going to get through the hairpin, and I have seen people throw things away at the hairpin myself as they come through to take the checker flag. But it's a win for John Kinmond in the Rover SD1. John Kinmond wins it. He'll be delighted with that. He crosses the line in second place. David Brown will hold on to that. Adam Bernard comes home for a fine 3rd place. Shawnee Patterson's come from the back of the grid from 20th place up to 4th in his orange Thierry. He crosses the line now. Brilliant drive from him. He comes home ahead of Andrew Graham as well, who won't be happy getting beat by Shawnee. And then we get one of the champions, Bruce Mitchell, crosses the line, and he will take an equal championship, we believe, with Alistair Barty, unless they take it back. If they take it back, well, they've had wins all the way through the year. What will they do? Will they maybe look at fastest laps? None of them will have had a fastest lap, so saw the trophy in half. Give half to Barty, give half to Bruce Mitchell. Barty out of the hairpin in the X19B, crosses the line now, comes home to finish in a fine 7th place overall, behind Bruce Mitchell on the road, but equals in the championship.